I will be a leader. I will be a provider. I will be an inspiration to many. I will be the blueprint to success. I won't be just a part of the culture. I'll be royalty to the culture. I won't set the bar. I am the bar.
What's good, everybody? This episode has been brought to you by Tinks Impressions, who specializes in 100% soy candles, custom designs, body care products, and anything that you need. Shout out to Tinks Impression. One love. What's good, everybody? This your boy Sledge, the People's Channel checking in. And yes, we are back with This One For Us podcast. This is season 2. Today, we're going to focus on the beauty industry today. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to have everyone, introduce themselves and just tell them what they do for a living. We can start with Gianni.
Hi, everybody. I'm Gianni. I am a board-certified trichologist and the owner of OMG Salon, where we focus on creating safe and empowering beauty experiences rooted in scalp health, intentional care, and education.
Hi, everyone. My name is Angel. I am the owner of Angel Wings, Fly Girl Aesthetic here in Columbus, Ohio, and I specialize in makeup, eyebrows, and lashes.
Hey, y'all. My name is Justice Shanae. I am a 12-year nail artist, but I have pivoted into the education realm. I will be opening up MB Academy in August 24th, 2026, and I focus more on education and educating the youth and others.
Hi, everyone. I am Keena Marie. I'm a licensed esthetician. I've been doing makeup since 2017. I also am the founder of a beauty expo, BTS Barber and Beauty Expo, where we shed light on the talent behind the scenes. And I am happy to be here.
Now that we, got everybody, and I just learned some stuff for myself. Explain to me what BTS stands for, because I don't know what it stands for. I just see it in lights. So just explain to me what it stands
behind
for.
The scenes.
Oh, you learn something new every day. Elaborate on why you called it behind the scenes.
I call it behind the scenes because that's what we are. We're behind the scenes of anyone's big day, whether it be a wedding, you're getting ready for a photo shoot, whether you're doing makeup for a celebrity who's going to have a debut on television. We're behind the scenes. We're the ones performing their services and making them look great for their big day.
This your third year?
Third year, yeah.
Okay. Give me some things that you liked about your first and your second that you want to change for your third.
Things that I liked about my first and second year, of course, was the turnout, the way that people felt seen and recognized in the industry. Yeah. I feel like I brought something new to Columbus because, just to shed light on the people that's been doing the work. Yeah. And so I love that. What I would change, the controversy of the voting and all that stuff, which we are changing that this year.
So what do you say to your haters that say that the voting is one-sided or it's whatever you done heard? What would you say to them?
That's their opinion. I understand. I see both sides of perspectives because I understand being licensed and unlicensed, but I don't take credit away from anyone that's providing a service.
So when you do this, was this a passion that you've had since you started doing this? Or what said, you know what, I'm going to do this to give other people their flowers, their opportunity? What
motivated me, I moved to Atlanta and I went to a lot of expos, a lot of beauty shows, and I felt like Columbus just didn't have that. We didn't have that platform to provide, and there's a lot of us here. So that was the motivation to do it. And it really was just an idea that kind of just came to fruition. I didn't expect it to grow like it did, but we are in year 3, so it's only going to get better.
That's what's up. That's dope. Yeah. That's dope. Awesome. So let me ask you this, Gianni. What made you get a salon and not work in somebody's salon?
Well, I actually did go into someone else's salon. Shout out to Miss Kim at Serenity Beauty Bar for giving me a chance. I met them when I was in hair school, and it just created a opportunity for me to build my clientele while I was in school. I think a lot of young ladies or men don't know that you can get a braiding and shampooing license while you're still in school and do limited services. And that was a way for me to just build up my clientele, learn salon etiquette. I knew I wanted to work for myself. There was a certain atmosphere that I wanted to create for people who sat in my chair. So I did. I went under someone else's wing, learned the environment, and then when the opportunity presented itself, I got my own space. The timing was right. So that's what I did.
Was there a specific moment when you said, you know what, this ain't just a hobby. I'm about to make this a lifestyle?
Yeah, I was doing workers' comp and getting cussed out for people's workers' comp claims. And I said, this ain't it. This wasn't it. I grew up in the salon. My mother is a cosmetologist. So it was in me, and I just did it for fun or just as a side hustle. But what I was doing, working in corporate America, was not fulfilling for me. So I took the leap of faith at 28 years old with a son and went to school. Shout out to my husband for holding me down. But yeah, I just knew I wasn't going back to what I was doing. And honestly, just listening, I don't want to be all churchy, but listening to the Holy Spirit, it was dropped in my spirit that this is what my purpose was. And once I honed in on that, things have flourished from there.
Awesome. So Justice, elaborate on what do you do? Like, what's your expertise?
So my expertise is nails. I have moved into the realm of education. I am opening up a cosmetology school August 24th, 2026. And I just focus on educating the students that come after me, and esthetician, cosmetology, barber, and manicurist, just teaching them more about entrepreneurship, also financial literacy, because we all need it.
Yeah.
And of course, the education of the beauty industry.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you this question, but I want everybody to answer this. What do you wish somebody would have told you in the beginning that you learn now?
What I wish that I was told in the beginning is that everything is not glitter and gold. Just really understanding that it's a process and what you go through is a lot. And being even in the entrepreneurship industry, or being an entrepreneur period, is a spiritual journey. And shout out to my mentor. He always told me, you're not a real entrepreneur until you lost it all. And going through that specific journey of losing everything all and have to rebuild had told me that I need to have a better connection with God. I needed to really be intentional about what I do and how I do it, and trusting the process and trusting that everything is going to work out as long as you're willing to be persistent and consistent.
Perfect. How about you, Keena?
So just piggybacking off of what she said, trusting the process is very important. I wish that someone would have told me that you're going to have those seasons where it's slow, especially being an entrepreneur in the beauty industry. You're going to have those seasons where it's slow. You're going to have those times where you feel burnt out because you're putting in so many hours. And it's not always going to be a easy selling thing, and you have to be intentional. You have to be passionate about what you do. You can't just join into something because you see everybody else doing it. You have to have a passion for it, what you're doing, because that right there is going to take you through those hard times. You know, once you can't just jump into it, because if you get into that season where it's slow and you just give up, it's like, where's the passion? So yeah.
How about you, Gianni?
I think for me, it would have been stay in community with people, stay surrounded with people who push you to want to be better within your industry. But also for me, it was find what it is that you really want to do. So like, shout out to Keena for giving me during my last certification years ago. But what I come to realize, that is not my purpose for this beauty industry. So I felt like I had to be a jack of all trades instead of honing in on a subset of things to provide quality service to my clients. So finding those few things that you can excel at, really grow in, and push that. I think that's what I wish I would have learned earlier on, because it would have saved me a little bit of money on education. And time.
Yes.
Okay.
For sure.
So, Angel, before we go into that question, just explain to them what you do and what's your expertise as well.
So I am a makeup artist. I'm an esthetician as well, but I specialize in makeup. That's really where my passion is. Started doing makeup right out of esthetician school because what sparked the interest was when I was in esthetician school, there was never any of our shades of makeup. And that's what sparked the interest. And then I just took off since then. So I host a lot of youth makeup classes for young girls, teaching makeup, doing like spa days with them, and just showing them that self-care is important. So yeah, that's a little bit of what I do.
What did you want to tell people? Like, what do you wish you would have known that people would have gave you? Like, what are some things that they would have gave that you found out the hard way?
It would have to be that everything is not, whatever shines is not gold, if that makes sense. And to know that there's so many different lanes out here, but as long as you find your lane that you're in and you're comfortable, I think that you'll be fine. And I wish that someone would have told me that ahead of time. Just trying to find my niche or where I belong, and, you know, the lane of makeup and things like that. So I definitely would say that. And that it doesn't happen overnight. I think a lot of people look at Instagram or Facebook and they see all these celebrities or people out in the community launching businesses thinking that it's just going to take off overnight. And it actually does not. You have to put in the grind and the time. You have to have a passion for it to actually have some type of result. So, yeah.
So what is the price of being booked and busy?
It's rewarding, but it's tiring. I wish someone would have told me that to get more comfortable shoes, that your back will be hurting. But overall, it's rewarding. So, yeah.
Okay. Let me ask y'all this. What's the difference between and I really don't want no like bland answer. What's the difference between a good customer, or a good client and a bad client? I won't even say bad client. A client that y'all don't want.
Somebody who late.
Oh, damn.
They don't respect your space. I don't even care about tipping, because I know some entrepreneurs like, they don't tip well, or they don't tip. Just pay me my price. But late, you don't respect the boundaries or the expectations of the space that you come into. To me, that is a bad client. Somebody being particular about how they want their makeup or their hair, that's not a bad client. But those two are the big thing.
Showing up to your appointments on time is very important, because, you know, one late appointment can literally push your entire day back.
Absolutely.
So
Even if it's just by a few minutes.
Yeah.
I would just say being respectful of everyone's time, because we all have a job to do. I have a job to do. You have something to do because you want your makeup done. So even if and open communication, I think that that's important. You know, I am more willing to work with a client that can text me and say, hey, you know, I'm running, 5 minutes late, versus no communication at all. So I think just respecting people's time all around.
So let me ask you this. Is your price your price, or is there any wiggle room in between that price?
Child,
My price.
ain't nobody wiggling nothing.
I'm just saying,
You're not going to go to Walmart or Target and be like, can I get a little? Yeah. No.
Well, hear me out.
If you get,
I'm always looking for the deal.
I mean, I've come across a situation like that. It's like, if you want a certain service that is, just say boho braids, and it's $200. You don't have a $200 price tag. Well, you're not going to get a small set of boho braids. I'll give you some jumbos for that price. I'm all for working within somebody's budget that's not going to cause me to lose out or something. People have budgets. I mean, that's just the reality. But this is what I can do for you, but I'm not going to give you what you want at the price tag that you can't pay for. But this is what I can do.
Definitely, like, know your worth, because people will come to whoever's cheap, and then if you're no longer cheap, they're going to sit in the next chair and the next chair and the next chair. So
Chair hopping is crazy.
based on your pricing, you kind of figure out who your target audience is from there, and the people that's going to pay and respect your time. I've literally changed my price every single year in the field that I'm in. I've went up at least $10, and my clients that respect and love me and love the service that I provide, they still come. So I want to weed out all of the chair hoppers, honestly.
For sure.
Chair hopper is crazy. It's crazy because yesterday I was getting my hair cut. Shout out to Rob. So yesterday I was getting my hair cut, and the dude came. I was his last one. And then the dude came and like, man, I just made it. His client, man, I just made it before 5:30. He looked at him and he said, bro, your appointment was at 4:45. He's like, nah, man, it was at 5:30. He said, listen, bro, I'm going through a lot right now, and I don't feel like arguing with you. And he was like, well, I can just come back. And then he was just like, it's not the principle about that. So, like, I guess my question is, how do y'all deal with difficult clients on levels like that? Because he ended up still cutting his hair, and then my barber's 50. I've been going to my same barber since I was 9 years old. So I'm loyal, very, to my barber, at least. Come on, don't do that. Don't look in the back. Don't do that. You could tell, like, deep down, he really didn't want, because he thought he was done. So deep down, he really didn't want to cut his hair, but it's just like, how much is too much before you just be like, you know what? Y'all don't even have to come back.
Extend grace. Sometimes you just extend grace to people in that situation. But then also you got to put your boundaries in place, because then you have those people who will they let me slide that last time. Maybe I can do it again, and they'll give me a little bit of grace. I think it's having discernment just in that moment. There's never a cookie cutter answer. Yeah. It's just in that moment is, what does your heart tell you? If you for sure say, no, I cannot take this client, I'm at my threshold, this is just what it is, I can't do you, but maybe I can fit you in another day. Sure. Or, all right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be a little tired. I'm gonna, whatever. But you fostered a moment for growth on both sides, and you just move past it and just don't let it happen again.
Extending grace is a very big part of that customer experience, and that little bit of grace will keep a person coming back and also gain some sort of level of respect. So, it can go both ways, but those ones that you got to be like, put your foot down with, you know.
Okay.
I think it's important to make sure that your policies and procedures are up to date. And reading is fundamental. And sometimes, people don't.
That's people in general.
Right. That is true. But I just think giving grace, like these ladies said, giving grace, being understanding, because we're all human, we're going to run late sometimes, as long as you communicate or whatever the case may be.
Yes.
Just having open communication, you let them know, I may have a squeeze-in fee, or I might have a late fee. Just communicate with them so everyone's on a clear path, and I think everything will be fine as far as me with my clients. So, yeah.
I mean, I was gonna say hit them with put them in their pockets. Well, you want me to do it? Yeah, you gonna do it for $75 extra?
Jesus Christ!
You're 45 minutes late.
That's true. You're right. You know what? You're right.
Because I'm 45 minutes late as the artist. I'm going to communicate with you, and I'm going to take some money off, or you might even get the service for free.
I was going to say that is the same way that I would charge is $15 for a late fee. I will take $15 off if I'm late, if it's my fault. So
that makes sense.
I definitely live by that for sure.
That makes sense. So let me ask you the biggest question that's going on right now, other than pricing. We all grew up. Well, yeah, you did too. We all grew up where we went to a shop, and we had the shop culture, and some of y'all shampooed, and some of y'all sat there and read the magazines and watched the TVs and listened to all the gossip. What is the difference between a single salon and being in the shop experience? What do you like better?
I miss the shop experience. I said bring it back. But also being in a suite, it gives a sense of privacy. For before I retired in August, I did retire in August. I had some high end clients, and they wanted that privacy, knowing that security was there. When you in the open salon, anybody can walk in, anybody can walk through. And as I continue to grow, I will prefer somebody in the suite just for my safety and for, my privacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the salon culture, you can learn so much from each other. Me personally, when I started out, I had a solo suite, and I did that just because I'm a private person, and I wanted our experience to be more intimate. I wanted to get to know my clients and things like that. And if they have children, it's more of an enclosed space that they can bring their children with them instead of, going to a salon where they're running around. It could possibly get burnt or anything like that. So I'm open to both. But if it was me personally, I would go back to having a single suite. But that knowledge in the salon that you get from everyone, and just asking a quick question, like, hey, what concealer should I use for this or for this client, or whatever the case may be. So it's a lot of knowledge there.
For me, the salon space, I felt like was always great, especially as an entrepreneur when you're going into it with no clientele. It's a great way to build that clientele. But for the customer, it can be great. But the suite, like those people that are maybe insecure about their hair or don't want everybody to see them getting a service, like that's what the suite will be for. But I do think it's important to keep that same traditional wash and blow, because the people that are in the suites, some of them are not providing that service. And that's what the biggest issue is right there. It's like, why do I have to come with my hair wash and blow dry and you're providing a service? So that's kind of where I feel things have, went different in a suite versus a salon. Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I've known you guys for a little minute. I'm pretty sure I've seen you guys work with a celebrity or done some type of service for a celebrity. How was that good? Was it bad?
Well, moving to Atlanta, that was the goal for me. I went there to chase that celebrity clientele. And I'm going to be honest. My 9-to-5 girls pay the bills. The celebrity clientele, how can I put it? Some of them feel entitled to free services because they think they can post you on their story or their Instagram. You'll get some followers, but they're not paying followers. That's not going to pay the bills. Right. And the attitude that you have to deal with, just that sense of entitlement, I didn't like. I did, work with some, had different experiences with some people that were wanting to pay my worth and all that good stuff. But it has its pros and cons to it. And I wouldn't put that over my 9-to-5 girls. Never.
Okay. Anybody else?
I haven't done a celebrity.
Okay, so you're the youngest, Justice, right? You're the youngest.
Excuse me.
So as the youngest, and I'm just being honest, do you work with people your age or do you work with people older so you can, how do you operate?
Since I've started, I would get some young girls, but as I raise my prices, I started to get more of the professionals, usually my clientele before I retired was 30, maybe 35 and that. That was just I just really liked them. And plus they were able to pay my price. When I retired, I was one of the highest paid nail artists. So it was just like the 20-year-olds wasn't really paying that. They want bedazzle and stuff. I want something simple. I'll give you the French, get you in and out in an hour, $150. I'm done.
Okay. So when y'all were kids, I keep going back because when y'all were kids, I remember, you can get your nails done, you can get your feet done, $100. You can get a middle invisible part. That's how I am.
I remember the invisible part.
You can get you some well, my mom did latch hook, but you can get you some kinky twists, or you can get some what's the ones called micros. There you go. Do you ever think those prices and those type of styles will ever come back?
Today's price ain't today's price.
Like, do you ever think those will come back?
Your prices gotta go with the inflation of this world.
The products that you use,
and the product, everything costs. So no, I don't.
You ever think any of those hairstyles will come back?
They might make it come back.
Oh yeah, history always repeats itself in fashion and hair and all that. Yes,
I'm just saying. I'm really waiting for the French roll to come. I know a little bit about hair. I'm really waiting for the French roll to come back.
It's back.
Back in the day, like in the 90s and all that.
I've seen the French roll.
Okay, the French roll. So Angel, when you do these makeup, when you do the makeup, not these makeup, when you do makeup, do you tell them like, that might not be your color, boo? Or you be like, girl, I'm going to give it to you the best, like, because you asked for it.
Can they even see themselves? Do you have their clients face in the mirror, or do you have them face? They don't get that.
No, but I like to. I mean, I like to start, conversation with my clients. So if they come in, hey, how are you? Are you allergic to anything? That's one of my big things. But I'll ask them, like if it's their birthday party, I'll say, what color are you wearing? Like, what color is your dress? And they might say, oh, my color is red. And I'm like, okay, so did you have an inspo look for how you wanted your makeup? And then sometimes people let me take creative control, and then I'll put what I think is going to look beautiful, and I'll ask them, I'll show them step by step on what I'm doing, just so I know that I have their approval. But yeah, sometimes people come in with a picture off of TikTok and they're like, this is how I want my makeup. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is how you're going to get your makeup. So it really just depends, honestly.
When y'all do hair, let me ask you about when you do hair. You remember a hair beauty shop? She's like, "Do I look like Beyonce?" What's the thing? Like, do y'all make suggestions, or y'all just be like, "I'm just gonna give you what you asked for"? Because at the end of the day, you pay for it.
What you see on somebody else's face might not look like that on you, and that might not be the right shade for your skin tone. Like, there's a lot of factors in makeup that people don't really know or pay attention to unless you're the artist. So I think it's important as the artist to kind of have that conversation, not force it on them, but have that conversation. Hey, this is what I suggest. I don't think you should do red on red, or you know what I mean? Like, I just think it's important as a professional to be open about that.
I think that is what kind of sets the industry apart from people who are chasing money versus those you can tell this is really their passion. People come, like, I have a portion on my page, like there's a read before you schedule, that your inspiration picture will not be an exact replica. It will be tailored to fit you because
you're not that person.
You're not that person, and then I'm coming from a holistic health standpoint, scalp health standpoint. So if your hair is your density, your texture, all the things, if it's not up to par for the service that you're wanting, absolutely not. Like, I'm just not going to take somebody's money for the sake of making $1. But again, this is what I can do. It may not be exactly what you want, but we're going to do this. But this is your homework at home. And when you come back, these are the steps. But then that fosters that long-term client.
Yeah.
You build that relationship, which is going to turn into more money, more referrals, and all the things, versus you gave somebody that hairstyle or that makeup, and now you got a bad name because you gonna make somebody look a mess.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. Was this the first thing that y'all said, hey, I'm about to do this? Because I know you said you was getting cussed out. You was getting cussed out. But was it like, full time? I mean, like, was you doing this full time off, like, I'm about to just do this full time, or you just was like, some people had other dreams, you know what I'm saying? So what was your other dreams, or what was your other aspirations before this?
I tried. I'm not gonna say I tried. I went to interviews and wanted to get a job, and no one would hire me. So I'm in college. Well, before I went to college, I helped my grandpa, and I would take care of him, and he would give me money to take care of him. So I had a savings account. When I got to college, I was like, I'm running out of my savings. I have to get a job. So like I said, I applied. No one will hire me. So I kind of just sat and brainstormed. Me and my friend, we just sat and brainstormed. I'm like, I can do nails. Because I remember being a kid, like having dreams about getting my nails done. Doing nails in my mom's kitchen. Like, I remembered that stuff. So once I started to think, like, I just love nails, I just grew to love it, and I wanted to educate myself. And at that time, YouTube wasn't around. Well, it was around, but I could only find like one video. So I had to teach myself. So it was the passion behind it that made me just be like, okay. And nails was the only thing that I did.
For me, I was always in call center work of some sort. But what really gave me the passion was just starting to do it on myself. With my best friend, Cash, he did hair. And he did everybody's hair in the city of Columbus. And I love to see him in his environment and just in that, that mode and making the connections with the people that he was working with. It just seemed so free. So that was my motivation right there. And I started doing makeup, and, it just kind of took off from there. But I absolutely love what I do. But also remember, being an entrepreneur, it doesn't mean that you won't have a 9-to-5. Okay. You might have that, and you might still have to work because it takes time to build that clientele, you know?
Yeah.
For me, I came from the medical industry. So I did like a lot of behind the scenes of like insurance or HR work. So once I went to esthetician school, that sparked the interest for me. I've always, over the years, you know, family would give me palettes, or I was doing, you know, the family's eyebrows or eyelashes. But when I went to esthetician school, it kind of just brought it full throttle for me because I always had a thing for makeup. I just had to put myself in those rooms, and yeah, so.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're doing the school. You have the BTS, which is behind the scenes. I figured it out. You do classes, right?
I do free services for women who are postpartum or close to giving birth. I do a full-on trichology service for them, absolutely free. Awesome. And then during Black Maternal Health Week, myself, my esthetician Aaliyah, and my husband Ron, we do a full-on pampering session for about 5 women. So it's hair care, makeup. They get a full-on photo session. It's food, all the things. And we do that absolutely free. It's nomination based, so people send in their referrals, you know, and we just select from there. So that's how I give back.
Okay. Yeah, you do makeup classes for the youth. Mm-hmm. And how long have you been doing it?
Last year was my first sold out class, so we're aiming for a second year this year. So
that's good. So what made you want to do that?
What made me want to do that is because little girls are always into makeup. That's just something that little girls like to do. But I think
my couch.
But I think actually having the direction as to what the product is for, where it goes, just having that knowledge, and to teaching the self-care on top of that, letting them know that they're important, they're loved, and that they're beautiful. I think that it all ties together. So yeah.
My way of giving back that a lot of people don't know, but I do mortuary makeup as well. Ooh. And I've given a lot of that service for free.
You can put that on us, didn't you?
I know. It can be challenging, but I actually love it. Like, I thought I would be terrified. I was terrified the first time, but I love it. And I think it's important to do that because, you know, just to make the family feel like, you know, their loved one is almost looking like themselves. So I've done a lot of that for free, and that's my way of giving back behind the scenes, other than other things. But yeah,
the way that I give back is that I do have a youth program, and we do focus on self-care, and that is completely free as well for the youth that qualify. I teach them about self-care, entrepreneurship, financial literacy. We're adding partnership with other people so they can learn different skills. Whatever their interest is, we're just finding ways to be able to help them so that when they do turn 18, they have some type of skills. Yes. Yeah. So that's the way I give back.
I always thought that, I went to the Career Center and I did interactive media. My best friend, she did hair. And then a lot of people I knew did hair, and they did just other things. And I wish there was more, as I get older and I'm in the education field, I wish there was more schools for people like us. Mm-hmm. And not saying men per se, but that lady at your cosmetology school 9 times out of it is what it is. She really can't teach Black women Black things.
You ain't never lied.
It's just the truth. And that's what my best friend at the time, she used to be so mad because she was so pro-Black. Mm-hmm. But she was so mad because it's I'm not really learning nothing. Mm-hmm. So everything that I learned here was basic, but when I got out here, I had to learn it on my own. So I would love to see that you ladies, any ladies that's watch this, just collaborate with each other to build not like a school, but a program that's bigger for the masses. Mm-hmm. What you do is very, 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 it's different because I grew up in a world where, even in those salons, even in them barber chairs, it was always, I'm better than him. Or I'm better than her. So what you do to show people, just to step outside of your comfort zone, and I only say that because I do it a lot too, just to step out of your comfort zone, even Gianni, to step out your comfort zone, to give people free services that are going through something. Because a lot of people don't care what you go through. And I think that's really a blessing. And I just want y'all to understand, at the end, y'all going to be blessed at the end. Even with Angel, I met Angel on the Nori's mom. I mean, Angel, Nori's mom, and she's been doing Rip the Runway makeup and for us, and she's been doing a great job forever. I don't know if you've gained any clientele. I don't know. I really don't, but it's just the fact that like she goes above and beyond for us and really doesn't ask for much. So, and I just want to let you know, like, you're going to be blessed for that. And I really appreciate you for that, because she'd be like, now listen, I did. She didn't have no makeup. She didn't sign up, but she was just looking like she wanted it. And I just be looking at her like, bruh. I be looking at her like, bruh, now you know. Like, come on, man. She's like, no, but I didn't do too much. Every year, it's one or two, don't worry about it, Brian. And I just like, man, I told you, you know what I'm saying? And just to see my cousin Justice, I'm hard on all my family members, but just to see her, just watching her from a little girl I used to pick up down the street, and we used to walk back down to do it now, it's just amazing, because we were worried about you.
Shut up.
Worried about you.
Angel was my code.
Yeah, we were worried about you. But before we head on out,
all the problems.
yeah, I'm just saying.
Gave her the blues.
Before we head on out, I just want to make sure I just give you ladies your flowers, because you guys do deserve it. Also, before you head on out, please tell people where they can find you, and tell them like, hey, serious inquiries only, because some people will hit y'all up, and they'll be like, hey, I'll be right back with you.
But you know what? That's okay. That's okay sometimes, because maybe the price just ain't
This
where
ain't
it
where
right
it's
now.
at.
That's true.
But
That's
also,
true.
hold on, let me add this disclaimer in. Don't come back a year later thinking that price from last year is the same price either. But, whatever. But you can find me on all platforms. The OMG Salon. It's TheOMGI SALON. I am located in the north side of the city. Yeah.
You can find me on all platforms, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. So Angel Wings. So it's ANGEL_WIINGZ. And I am located on the north side. So serious inquiries only.
For real, because you're going to be having people in your inbox. You be like, girl, get out of here. Just be realistic. Like, come on, man.
If you type in on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Justice Shanae, JUSTISSHANAE, you will see all of I got so many accounts for no reason. So.
I mean, I'm not providing services at the moment, but you can follow BTS at btsbarber.beautyexpo on Instagram. And I'm also bringing something new to the city in tech, Beauty on Demand. It's an app that I'm launching in July at the next show. And it's going to be an app like an Uber for beauty.
When is your show?
July 19th.
And what does that Uber for beauty look like? Explain that a little bit.
So you have an artist side and there's a client side. The artist will sign up. The client can go on there for like people who, hey, last minute cancellation. I need my makeup done ASAP. You can go on there and find somebody that can come to you, or you can go to them, and you'll kind of there's a map that you'll see them traveling to
like a
you for the
DoorDash.
service. It's literally on
DoorDash
demand.
invitation.
Like the problem that it's fixing is literally that people that need last minute services, their artists are canceled at the last minute, or
we can leave reviews and
it's
all
on
that.
demand. Yeah, yes, absolutely.
5-star reviews is all we want.
Yeah.
5-star reviews. All right. First again, I want to thank you ladies. I do appreciate you ladies for coming, because you didn't have to, because today is a Saturday and I know y'all are booked and busy. So I really do appreciate you. This is This One For Us podcast, and we are out. One love.